Hi, I'm Rod. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be listening to Marcus Hook Roll Band perform Can't Stand the Heat. First, a little bit about the band. Marcus Hook Roll Band were an Australian rock group formed by Harry Vanda and George Young in Sydney. Active from 1972 through 1974, the group is noted for featuring Malcolm and Angus Young prior to forming AC/DC. The project released one record, Tales of Old Grandaddy, which was released in 1973 and was issued only in Australia on EMI, although a variation would later be released in the US on Capitol's Green Label Budget series in the wake of Vanda and Young's Flash in the Pan album. They also released 3 singles from the album, the first being Natural Man, Boogalooing is for Wooing, followed by Louisiana Lady, Hoochie Coochie Ha Cow, Lee Ho's Blues, and Can't Stand the Heat, Moonshine Blues. The project were George Young on vocals, guitar, piano and bass, Harry Vanda lead guitar, vocals, Alex Young saxophone. Alex is George Young and Malcolm and Angus's older brother. Malcolm Young on guitar, Angus Young on guitar, Freddie Smith drums, Ian Campbell bass, John Proud drums, and Howard Casey saxophone. So let's check this out. This is an album that only recently came to my attention, so I haven't heard anything of this yet. But I am looking forward to it. One, it was a Vanda and Young project, which are always interesting, and the other will give us a little bit of a glimpse into what Malcolm and Angus were doing before AC/DC. So here it is.
Stand the heat. Get out of my kitchen if you can't stand the heat. Get out of my life if you can't stand the heat. Get out of my kitchen if you don't like the way I am. Find yourself another man. I go out, you ask me where I've been. I stay home, but then you make a scene. You try me every day. Just try a little harder, baby, and I'll be on my way. So if you can't stand the heat, get out of my kitchen if you can't stand the heat. Get out of my life if you can't stand the heat. Get out of my kitchen if you don't like the way I am. Find yourself another man who'll treat you good, someone to love you the way you think you should. But in the meantime, make yourself at home. Don't you ask me where I go when I go out on my So if you can't stand the heat, get out of my kitchen if you can't stand the heat. Get out of my life out of my kitchen if you don't like the way I am. Find yourself another man. Can't stand the heat.
I hear a little bit of funk, a little bit of blues, and some rock and roll. I think it's Harry Vanda on vocals. I like the vocals. It could be George Young, but I'm pretty sure that is Harry Vanda. But I do like this song. A little more funky than what I was expecting, but it's good.
Get out of my kitchen. Can't stand the heat. Get out of my life. Can't stand the heat. Find yourself another if you can stand it, you gotta find yourself. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. Get out of my kitchen. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. Get out of my kitchen.
So that was Marcus Hook Roll Band with Can't Stand the Heat. So this album, Tales of Old Grandaddy, is the only studio album that they released. The album is noted for being the recording debut of future AC/DC founders Malcolm and Angus Young. It peaked at number 89 on the Kent Music Report albums chart in 1975. Many of the details surrounding Tales of Old Grandaddy remain forgotten due to excessive alcohol consumption during the recording sessions. According to George Young, we all got rotten drunk except Angus, who was too young, and we spent a month in the studio boozing it up every night. The album features rhythm and lead guitar from both Malcolm and Angus, although whose part whose is a detail long forgotten. It's also not known whether one of them was responsible for the album's slide guitar tracks. Some of the tracks were later broken up and reused by AC/DC. For example, the track Quick Reaction contains a similar riff to the AC/DC song TNT, and elements of the single Natural Man were used for Livewire. According to George Young, it was the first time Malcolm and Angus did according to George Young, it was the first time Malcolm and Angus, the first thing Malcolm and Angus did before AC/DC. We didn't take it very seriously, so we thought we'd include them to give them an idea of what recording was all about. Capitol Records issued the LP in 1978 in America, retitled Marcus Hook Roll Band, featuring Harry Vanda and George Young. EMI Australia reissued it in '83, and Albert Productions re-released it on CD for the first time in 1994. The album was reissued again 20 years later on June the 2nd, 2014 on CD, digital download and vinyl. So I enjoyed that, particularly the vocals. I'm still pretty sure that was Harry Vanda on vocals. Well, it's great. All the instruments were great. Going by Harry's memories, we don't really know what guitar was what or who. But anyway, I enjoyed that. I'll be checking out more of this album. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to support my channel, you can like, subscribe, comment. It all helps. And I hope to see you in another video soon. Thanks for watching.